lot of parents tell me I didn't know the law.
And every precious smile.
I see kids on the front seat jumping up against mom and dad. I see kids sitting on top of the driver's lap. I always wonder to myself that when they have to bury one of those kids, which one of those excuses are they going to use to make themselves feel better?
Hold on to dear life.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Indiana State Police Public Information Program. I'm your host, Sergeant Dave Burston, Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police at the Indianapolis Post. For this edition, we're going to tell you all about the Indiana State Police Gaming Division and the services that they provide to the citizens of Indiana. We hope that you'll enjoy the program, and when we come back, we'll be introducing you to the Lieutenant of the Gaming Division, Mark Mason. So please stay tuned, don't go away, watch these messages, and we'll be right back.
Last year, over 1 million children came face to face with child abuse. But this year, there's a program that can help stop the abuse before it starts. A program that reaches out to new parents, that teaches them how to cope with the stresses that lead to abuse. But we need your help where you live, because without it, many of the children born today will become victims of abuse tomorrow. Call 1-800-CHILDREN. The more you help, the less they hurt.
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
Where's dinner?
Well, I thought you'd be home a couple of hours ago, and I put everything away, so
what
I
is
didn't...
this? Pizza? What? A pizza?
If you had just called me, I would have known what...
Dinner ready is a pizza.
I didn't know you'd be so late.
Let me ask you something. Is it too much to have dinner waiting when I go home?
Please don't be so loud.
Don't tell me what to do! You shut up!
I thought you'd be home
I can get pizza at work!
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll do something better. I'll fix you something
now. Better.
Let go of me!
Get in the kitchen!
No!
Well, it hurts! Do you want to see what hurts? That's what hurts! That's what hurts! Now get up and clean up this mess! Shut up!
I'll be quiet. Oh, please.
For information, call 1-800-END-ABUSE.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'd like to start by introducing Lieutenant Mark Mason, who is with the Gaming Division for the Indiana State Police. Mark, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking the time. Some people don't realize it, but you actually are on vacation today.
Yes.
Yes. So this is what you do.
This is the way I look on vacation.
So, you're getting ready to cut the grass,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Let's give our viewers a little background as to how the Gaming Division came to be for the Indiana State Police.
Okay, Dave, back in 1983, the legislature passed the Riverboat Gaming Act, which allows riverboat gaming to be in the state of Indiana. That set a series of things into motion. One of those is who's going to police, who's going to regulate this industry, who is going to do the background investigations, and by statute, the background investigation fell to the state police to assist the Gaming Commission. That started in 1994. March of 1994 is when they started the background investigation.
So this all started, the groundwork was laid in 1983, some yes. 14 years ago.
Excuse me, 1993.
Okay.
1993.
So, well, 10 years here, 10 years there. That's
we prepare
all right.
a long time before we make a move in Indiana. So. Started in 1993, and then a year later, in March of 94, is when the background investigation unit started for the Indiana State Police. The Gaming Division is broke out into two different units, the background investigation unit and the riverboat investigation unit. In '94 is when the background unit started. And this is made up of 12 troopers. This unit has 12 troopers, 6 Indiana Department of Revenue investigators and auditors. So it's a hybrid of 2 state agencies working together, as well as clerical and support staff. When we first started, we also had 3 investigators from the Internal Revenue Service along with us.
So they are actually, being with the Internal Revenue Service, they were not law enforcement officers. Those are not police personnel.
Some of them were IRS investigators and a couple were auditors also.
Okay.
So we had a hybrid of both. This unit sets out, and what they do is a background investigation, a thorough background investigation on the owners of the riverboat casinos, the companies, the key people, the people that are going to be the director of finance, the director of security, director of surveillance, the general manager, those type of positions. They do a thorough background investigation on them as well as the employees of the boat. This causes them to travel quite a bit because it's not something where they sit in an office in Indianapolis and send out letters and just base their report upon that. They actually traveled throughout the state.
Because it's got to involve, you can't just take face value what people are sending back to you. They've got to physically go and check those things out.
Correct. This is an industry that in the past has had the reputation of having problems with organized crime and corruption. And we felt that it was in our best interest to put the best investigation teams together to make sure that we were getting the best product we could. These people are coming to play in our ballpark. They're coming to play in the state of Indiana, and we wanted to make sure that it was a clean operation that was coming. So they would travel to these other states to conduct the background investigations, to do the interviews with the key people, to sit down with them, to look at their bank accounts, look at their tax records, look at their criminal records, the civil lawsuits, anything of that nature that could come up that could cause the casino not to be suitable for licensing.
Has that occurred?
We have found some things that caused a concern, and those people from one way or another would either later withdraw their license application when they decided that they were fighting a losing battle.
So if the heat got a little heavy, they've
just sort of fade away into the sunset.
I see.
We have found others that there were some things in their background that we had concern about, and if it was an employee or 2 employees or whatever, we would not act any further until those people were no longer a part of that company. And they would, in fact, find a way for them to leave the company.
So the efforts, they feel the fact that it's not just a whitewash, it really is an in-depth investigation.
Yes, it is.
And there are consequences of not being ratified or certified to be a part of the gaming.
In this industry, if you're denied a license, it is sort of like the death penalty. Because if we deny their license in Indiana, I know that the next day Nevada is going to be coming wanting to talk to us to find out what we found that caused us not to license them, followed by Illinois, followed by Atlantic City, followed by all of these other states where they are licensed.
We've got to take a break. Let's talk some more about that. Please stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
Hold on to dear life and every precious smile. We're only here together for just a little while. Hold on to dear life.
Hey, kid. Smoke me. Did your parents tell you drugs were bad? I can make your parents go away. Try me. Then it'll just be you. And me.
Always wait for the bus away from the street and traffic. When getting on and off the bus, make sure you can see the driver. If you can see her, she can see you. Take 10 giant steps in front of the bus before you cross the street. Why? If we're too close, the driver can't see us. And always cross in front of the bus. Never pick up anything you drop. Hi, Dad. Remember, it's a stop armadillo kids are about.
So, your name's John, right? Yeah.
And you said you still smoke pot once in a while?
Yep.
You remember the first time you tried it?
Pretty much.
How old were you?
12.
You ever move on to anything harder, like coke or acid or
No,
anything?
man, nothing like that. Not till I was 14.
Hello and welcome back to the program. Mark, before the break, you were talking about the investigative process that goes through for each location, and I want to stress for our viewers that that process happens for each location where there is a riverboat in place now.
That's correct. In every city that had or county where they were opening up a license, we would have multiple applicants for each county. So, for instance, in Dearborn County, where we now have the Indiana Gaming Boat in Lawrenceburg, there were, I don't recall specifically, but there was over a dozen applicants for that license. So we did over a dozen investigations on companies for that one license down there.
So there's a lot of time, a lot of manpower expended in that, and so it keeps those teams very busy.
Typical riverboat application for the company, it is going to take approximately 2 to 4 months to get that complete. So there is a lot of time. Some of these teams, and a team would consist of 2 troopers, 1 Department of Revenue person, and 1 person from the IRS. That's what we looked at as a team. A team may have 2 of these applications going at one time, and when you figure all of these names, bank accounts, cities, everything starts running together. So they have to put a lot of effort into keeping focused on each person.
I have a question that we really hadn't talked about before, but you mentioned like 12 different companies or entities putting in for one particular license, and as you start the process and some of them withdraw because of what the investigation reveals, but say it eventually gets down to the point that there could be 1, 2, or 3 successful candidates, how is the final decision made to who receives that license?
The Indiana Gaming Commission makes that decision. The commissioners, they will have a vote, and they will discuss the pros and cons of each company, the pros and cons of each location, the pros and cons of each package. Each gaming applicant would tell the cities and the counties that they wanted to rest in, this is what we propose to do. This is our plan. We're going to invest X number of millions of dollars in your city or your county over the next X number of years. We're going to develop the highways. We will make the highways better. We'll make the sewage systems better. They look at the whole package, the company in general, the people working, and trying to make sure that it's the best fit for the state of Indiana, the best fit for that community.
So the best fit for the state, for the community, what they're going to do, what they're going to give back.
Yes.
Because, and I think anybody watching the show should know that the gaming industry, they promote the idea of you're going to come there and win money, but only a few people are winning money. Everybody else is spending money, and you can call it entertainment, and or you can call it gambling, whatever you want to call it.
They don't build those big buildings in Vegas on losses.
That's right.
They make their share of the money to pay those.
So now, with the investigations that happen, with the number of people that you have involved, once it gets to the point of the license being awarded, what starts to happen? We're going to have to take a break here in about a minute, but if you go ahead and start telling some of that.
Then once it's not called a license. When they're given the opportunity to build their property, it's going to be called a certificate of suitability. And there are things that they have to do with the Gaming Commission in that period of time before they're actually given the license. Such as, they have to break ground, they have to have a temporary or a permanent boat there, the boat has to be approved, the employees have to go through licensing. All of the slot machines, we have to check the computer programs in the slot machines to make sure they're proper and acceptable to the state of Indiana. There's just a large number of things that we have to do before they even get the license. And then at that point, once they get the license, we will have what we call a shakedown cruise. And the shakedown cruise is where we put them through their paces.
And this, I think, some people that may have been watching the news, and I think some of the boats just recently went through some shakedown cruises, and that involves actually gambling with play money, doesn't it?
When we started out, we started it with play money. We have now gone away from that, where we let them open up with live money, with real money, for 12 hours and then shut them down and make them balance their books and discuss any deficiencies we found.
So did you find that it was better to use the real money because people, the employees, treated it more as real, as where when it's play money, they're thinking, oh, it's really not real?
I think that was a decision made by the commission, by the Gaming Commission, And there were any number of things. We felt we could get the same valid test results by using real money, and then it comes down to dollars and cents. It costs a great deal of money to do the play money cruise. So we thought we could save some money there.
When we come back, we'll have more information for you about the gaming division and the role of the Indiana State Police. Please stay tuned.
For me, I lost everything that I had. My parents, my house, everything, just because it all started with marijuana. And I said I was just only going to smoke marijuana, but it didn't work that way. If kids think that marijuana is going to help them with their problems or help them be a part of and do things that other kids are doing, I would just say that it just makes things worse. Marijuana is not worth it.
When there is an unexpected death of a child, oftentimes we ask the family to allow friends to make the arrangements.
I get requests all the time to go past a school or a playground while on our journey to our final resting place.
Some cemeteries also have a section set aside strictly for children under the age of 13.
Here you go, honey.
Remember when your son was a baby?
There you go. Whoops.
Well, now it can all come back to you.
Good. Good. Let's have one more bite.
All he has to do is sniff glue, paint, or a household cleaner to get high.
That's a good one.
After all, not all kids who do inhalants die. Not your kid. Inhalants are damaging somebody's. Talk to yours now.
They clean your house, polish your floors, shine your furniture, correct your errors, and can kill your kids. The everyday household products your kids are sniffing to get high have always been right under your nose, too. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sniffing.
Hello and welcome back to the program. Mark, we had just left off talking about the money issue and the fact that they are there to make money and also the revenues that are generated for the state of Indiana. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Well, how the taxing statute, or how it's set up for the taxes, is that they will pay 20% of their gaming revenue plus $3 per person that walks through the gate. Every admission is $3 of tax revenue.
I see.
During the month of June, I believe, they just released the taxes. It was over $21 million that the 7 boats paid in taxes to the state of Indiana during that month.
So that's the 20% plus the gate fees?
Yes, that's a combination of both. That tax revenue helps to pay for part of the salaries in the background investigative unit, but also there's what I would call a hidden tax to the gaming industry in that the other side of the gaming division that we spoke of, the Riverboat Investigative Unit, all of their salaries for the troopers on the boat, and we have 8 troopers on each boat plus a squad sergeant, plus there's 2 first sergeants that supervise, one supervises 5 boats north, one supervises 5 boats south. All of those salaries, benefits, cars, equipment, and everything is passed back to the gaming industry in that the 8 troopers and the sergeant that works on the Trump casino, Trump is billed for those things.
And I think that's an important point to reinforce for people watching the program is that while the gaming law changes that occurred in Indiana created a much greater burden for the state police to fulfill, and it has in fact increased our manpower, none of that is being paid for by regular citizens' tax dollars. That's all being taken care of by the gaming industry itself.
That's correct. That's correct. The salaries for the background unit is paid for by the Indiana Gaming Commission, and the salaries and benefits for the people in the field on the boats is passed on directly to that casino.
And that even includes, does that include your support staff? That includes police cars?
Yes.
That's the whole package?
Includes everything.
So
includes everything.
Let's talk a little bit about the functions of those troopers that are assigned to the boats. Are they there to enforce state laws? Are they there working for the gaming division? I think sometimes people are confused about why state police officers are assigned there.
First and foremost, they're state troopers. They're state policemen, and they're there to enforce the laws of the state of Indiana. When the gaming division was started, the commission chose to have Indiana State policemen involved on the boats. They wanted troopers on the boats. And then when you look at other states that have riverboat gaming and the gaming industry, they have usually gone to the state highway patrol or the state police, whichever it may be, to be on the boats. That's what they decided to do in Indiana. What they will do is they will enforce the laws of Indiana, but also the Gaming Commission has rules and regulations that they have put together to keep the industry safe, protect the integrity of the industry in Indiana.
Again, we're coming back to the concerns of organized crime.
Yes. Organized crime, as well as thefts, internal thefts from the people that are on the boats, the employees, different things of this nature. The people that are assigned to the riverboats have that authority to enforce those rules as well. So what they will do is not only are they there to protect the safety of the patrons on board, make sure that everything is safe there, they're also going to be there to enforce these rules. And these rules may be something as minor as in the count rooms. They have hard count and soft count in the gaming industry. The hard count is counting of the coins, soft count is counting of the bills.
Okay.
There's a ruling and regulation that says that they can only have clear containers in the count rooms while they're counting. That's to prevent somebody from dropping a $100 chip in their coffee cup and walking out. Those are the type of things that they're going to look at to make sure the industry's covered to where we're not getting people walking out the door with a lot of the money.
And the other part of it, like you said, they've got to watch those portions of the rules that the gaming industry puts on themselves, plus the regular state laws.
Plus the state laws of Indiana.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We have lots more for you.
Hold on to dear life.
He was always fun to watch at football.
And every precious smile.
We used to go to the track meets and watch Jacob run, and the girls would always be around him. None of us were wearing seatbelts. We thought we were too cool. You always think to yourself, it's never going to happen to us, you know? And now all that he had, it's different now.
Hold on to dear life. Hold on to dear life.
We were on vacation at Lake Tahoe.
And every precious smile.
I was driving home and I fell asleep. I remember just wondering when we were going to stop rolling. When we finally did, I said, where's McKay? And my husband said, he's in his car seat. He was safe.
Hold on to dear life. Hold on to dear life. And every precious smile. We're only here together for just a little while. Hold on to dear life.
And here comes Chris Hill, 4'6" out of Jefferson Elementary, a confident young man with a great stride. But, uh-oh, he might be in trouble now.
Hey, Chris. Want to get high? No way, man. That stuff's for losers.
Oh, what a move! Chris Hill never hesitates, just blows past that guy. Bob?
You're right, Mike. Look, Chris is known for his great head shake. Then he shifts his weight to the right foot, finds a hole, and zip, he's out of there.
Spectacular, just spectacular. This kid's got a bright future.
Hello and welcome back to the program. Mark, you gave us a good overview of the basic functions of the troopers that are assigned to the boats. Can you give us some specific examples of what they have actually encountered in those positions?
They've worked all types of criminal investigations, numerous thefts, batteries. We had one case where a husband and wife, he had probably had too much to drink and lost too much money that for her liking.
Alcohol and gambling, those always seem to...
Sort of like alcohol and fireworks, but they put them together. They got into an argument, and then next thing you know, she's caused him some damage, and he's laying on the floor bleeding. Well, she went to jail for domestic battery. They've invested those type of cases. They've worked on thefts, a lot of thefts that are internal. When I say a lot, 3 or 4 large ones. One to the tune of $300,000 up north. We had another one that was over $40,000 down south, but it was all done by people that work at the casino, employees.
So inside jobs, quote
Inside
unquote.
jobs.
Now, what about as far as are the troopers that are assigned to the boats, are they getting involved if there's a break-in of cars when people come in, or is that handled by the local authorities?
Each casino has its own security force that should take care of the drunks. The troopers on board are not bouncers. That's not their function. The boat has its own security force that should take care of those types of problems. They should also have security in the parking lot. The cities and the counties also generate or receive a lot of money from taxes,
Sure.
so they've been more than happy to help out with the problems in the parking lot. We have to have troopers on board while gambling's going on, or they cannot gamble. So it's pretty important that we have our guys on the boats and not have them in the parking lots taking care of things like that. Now, have they gotten involved in some things in the parking lots? Yeah, we've had a couple cases that I can recall where mom and dad, or in one case, grandma and grandpa, went on board the boat to gamble and left 3- and 4-year-old Bobby and Susie locked up in the car.
Oh, goodness.
Grandma and grandpa and mom and dad went to jail. That's a case that they should be out there taking care of the children. The children were suffering there, so they needed to be
that's
out
just
there.
inexcusable under any circumstances because when they go out on their cruise, they're gone for 2-3 hours.
2 hours, 2 hours what the normal cruise is in Indiana now. Some of them will run to 3.
Now, speaking of the cruise, some of the boats actually leave the dock area. Others, they just close off the area, correct?
They have to cruise, except there are only a few reasons that they cannot cruise, such as mechanical problems, weather, temperature of the water, different things like this. Other than that, they're required to cruise, and they have to report to us after every cruise if they cruised, and if they didn't, why. Some of these casinos will go a couple hundred yards down the river or out into the lake and just set and then come back. Others will go 2 to 3 miles down the river. The ones up north are starting to go out into Lake Michigan a little bit better. They had a problem at first getting some of the Coast Guard required equipment that they had to have to go very far out into the lake.
Navigation, radar, so forth.
They had trouble getting some of that stuff. So now that they've got that, they're coming on board and they're going out farther into the lake for the cruise. But by statute, they have to cruise.
Now, we're coming up to the end of our program. A couple of things I want our viewers to know is the different locations of the boats, north and south, how many total licenses there are out, and what is the total manpower assigned for the gaming division.
In the division, at full staffing, if we get up to 10 boats, we'll have 119 people assigned to the gaming division. That's police personnel as well as clerical support. The boats that we have right now, we have for August 19th, we're going to have the shakedown cruise of the 5th one up north. That'll be in Michigan City. We have 2 in Gary, commonly referred to as Buffington Harbor.
Right.
We have 1 in East Chicago and 1 in Hammond. And then in south, we have Astar, which was our first boat in Evansville. It opened up in December of '95, followed by the Grand Victoria in Rising Sun, and then Lawrenceburg has their boat, the Indiana Gaming, the Argosy boat as it's commonly referred to in Lawrenceburg.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for very educational information, and I hope our viewers have enjoyed it. And the next time you're ready to go up to one of the boats, as you're driving there, remember to buckle up. The life you save may be your own. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.